Boruto will get assigned the role of ending the cycle of destruction in the domain of gods, and the hints have already started appearing in the manga. A pattern that I noticed in 2 Blue Vortex is that the writers are taking the legacy of older characters to build up the newer ones. One example would be the transformation of Jiraiya's fateful journey of finding the child of prophecy, which laid the foundation of Kashin Koji to become a prophecy teller. Further, the sins of Sasuke got manifested into an evil clone who's now seeking the meaning of life and could possibly redeem both himself and the Uchiha in the most unexpected way possible. But these are just micro level developments that are pushing the current plot forward. Once the Shinju saga is complete, Sasuke would likely return, which means Hidari is thought to die, and a not so good twist of fate may be waiting for Kashin Koji, since his genes will decide his destiny, so he would very likely succumb to the inevitability of fate. But when it comes to fate and destiny, which are some of the most vital concepts of Boruto's story, what if the cycle of hatred plot is being amplified in the story? Well, to understand what I mean, we will need to get in the time machine and travel back to the time of Naruto, when Kishimoto was penning down one of the most renowned rivalries of shonen. Naruto and Sasuke's rivalry began as a typical school rivalry, but it evolved into something much deeper due to their individual destinies and the generational curse of hatred. Sasuke, driven by revenge, sought to avenge his clan's massacre, while Naruto sought recognition and to bond with him as a friend. Soon it was revealed that their rivalry held a more profound and symbolic meaning, since they were the reincarnates of Ashura and Indra. The competition and conflict that they were facing was due to the predetermined will of Hagoromo's sons, who were unable to find a resolve to their infamous dispute. Indra, the elder son, sought power and control, while Ashura, the younger one, followed ideals of love and unity. Their rivalry spanned generations, with descendants like Madara and Hashirama continuing the feud. Sasuke, like Indra, initially pursued power, while Naruto embraced Ashura's ideals of connection. This reincarnated cycle symbolized the generational curse of hatred. It finally ended when Naruto's unwavering belief in their bond overcame Sasuke's desire for power and revenge. Now take this same cycle and replace hatred with destruction for Utsutsukis, and you will get to know why they are the way they are. The Utsutsuki clan believes in destroying planets for the sake of attaining power. It's a will that each and every Utsutsuki has inherited, but there are a few exceptions like Toneria and Kaguya who are more humanized. One thing that we have to keep in mind is that they are universal creatures, and with every passing minute, a number of planets are being destroyed by this clan. The ultimate Utsutsuki member who became a god was Shibai Utsutsuki, and whether he was a malevolent or benevolent deity is still a mystery. The reason I'm bringing this up is because Shibai could be the one to put a pause on this cycle of destruction through Boruto and Kawaki. Just like how Hagoromo granted six-pass power to Naruto and Sasuke, and then they eventually resolved their generational feud. We will take a deep dive into the iceberg of reasons which make me think of it as a vital possibility. But for the most basic part is their evolution into Utsutsuki creatures. The way they both became a part of the species that they hated must be a setup to something really big. It shouldn't be just because of the Shinjus wanting to prey on them. The reason being, Jura has already given up on taking the chakra fruit. He just wants Boruto dead, his instinctual target devoured, and then he can pass on the chakra fruit to Code after preying on Kawaki. But looking at how that's not likely to happen, since we have the prologue sequence to confirm whether the claims made by certain characters come true or not, there must be a more real reason behind their ascension to alienhood. Back in chapter 13, Jura pointed out Boruto being protected from the heavens, and this reminded me of Ashura Utsutsuki and how Hagoromo chose him over Indra, since he went for love as the most important attribute. Indra, on the other hand, chose strength as his attribute, as he believed power was the key to achieving one's goals, and controlling others was necessary for maintaining order. But the decision of Hagoromo to choose Ashura as his successor made Indra revolt against the decision, which is what eventually became a generational feud. However, the dispute is not what may be going on in Boruto and Kawaki's case, since their story is completely different than Naruto and Sasuke. I believe Shibai protecting Boruto from the heavens may be a symbolic reference to how Hagoromo chose Ashura over Indra for his harmonious idols. Boruto wants to fix things between him and Kawaki, which makes him a sort of peacekeeper. And if there is actually a cycle of destruction happening in the Utsutsuki clan, then it's definitely Boruto who can mark an end to it. The reason it's not Kawaki is because of the way he decided to kill all the Utsutsukis with their own powers. Never for a second did he try to understand their situation or find the reason behind their destructive nature. This makes him more of an unstable, impulsive person who won't think twice before making a decision, and that's what he has been doing from the beginning. Boruto, on the other hand, would never make an oath to destroy the Utsutsuki clan, no matter how powerful he gets. His way of dealing could be more compassionate, similar to how Naruto used to deal with things, and it's evident by the fact that he has forgiven Kawaki after everything he did to him. So this quality may be something that prompted Shibai Utsutsuki to protect him at all costs, as he has the potential to bring an end to the destruction cycle of the Utsutsuki clan. Kawaki's destructive motives are something that might not be so appealing to the god of the verse, simply because he wants a solution to the problem and not an extermination of his own clan. Yet I think Kawaki turning a new leaf to follow Boruto's path of resolving the Utsutsuki situation is not out of question, since both of them have been granted the different dojutsus of Shibai Utsutsuki, with Boruto having the Jogan and Kawaki getting the Kokugan. It's not coincidence for them to coincide with Shibai when it comes to having a particular dojutsu in a specific eye, especially when Ishiki had the Kokugan in his right eye, but for Kawaki, it was switched to the left. The reason being the potential connection to Shibai Utsutsuki, which is being set up in the story for a major future plot. And this is where I think the domain of gods could finally make an appearance in the story. But before we enter this holy place of Utsutsukis, if you haven't entered my subscriber list, then you are missing out on a lot of top tier Boruto content, so make sure to tap on that sub button to never miss another video from my side. The domain of gods is the place that was referenced in the title of the 75th Boruto chapter, where Shibai Utsutsuki was mentioned for the very first time. It seems to be a real place in the verse, likely the throne of an Utsutsuki god, from where the deity operates and looks over the multiverse. The higher realm mentioned by Amado could also be a reference to this place, but the point that we gotta discuss today is Boruto's ascension to this place. I'm not saying he would himself be an Utsutsuki god, similar to what happened with Hachimaru in Samurai 8, which is another work of Kishimoto. Rather, the domain of gods could be a place where Boruto would get his final mission of fixing the Utsutsuki clan. It could start with Kawaki, who more or less showed his Utsutsuki traits after wreaking a havoc in the Leaf Village. The Jogan's awakening could act as a proof that Boruto has been to such a realm before his future fight with Kawaki, and Sasuke's awakening of the Rinnegan with the help of Hagoromo Utsutsuki offers us a strong base to take it as a solid possibility. The spiritual presence of the Sage of Six Paths was able to manifest due to the status of Sasuke as Indra's reincarnate. By this we can conclude Boruto needs to obtain a medium through which Shibai could summon him in the domain of gods. The summoning would follow the awakening of the Jogan or the Pure Eye, which seems to be a crucial part in bringing a revolution to the Utsutsuki world. Maybe that's why Urashiki was surprised to see it and referred to it as a troublesome eye. One of the vital reasons for Boruto to obtain the divine power of the Jogan before his forthcoming fight against Kawaki has something to do with the limiters that were revealed in chapter 15. Basically, the fact that Koji said all the members of Kara were modified with the cells of Shibai, there's a chance that Amado did the same with Kawaki too, and once his limiters get lifted, he could tap into some Shinjutsu of Shibai Utsutsuki. And since he has been labeled as the Apostle of Destruction, it's very likely that the Shinjutsu will grant him some destructive powers, explaining how he was able to turn Konoha into ruins back in the first chapter. So assuming Kawaki gets the destroyer side of Shibai's powers, Boruto would need to balance this aggression of his counterpart, which would require the awakening of a benevolent power of Shibai Utsutsuki. It's a battle of fates where one person is misusing the divine power while the other one is supposed to prevent the things from going worse. An interesting analogy that I will explore more in a future video about Kawaki's next power-up explains the time skip situation in a unique and interesting way. Basically, what I believe is that Boruto and Kawaki are using the powers of the same god Utsutsuki against each other, and this battle would be fueled by fate in order to maintain some balance in the universe. The balance part comes from Shibai being able to manipulate space from the Kokugan and the Jogan presumably having control over time. The duty of him as the absolute peerless existence must be to maintain order in the universe, with space and time being the vital factors behind the smooth functioning of the cosmos. So the battle between Boruto and Kawaki could establish the power of light over the darkness. The Kokugan is known as the Eye of Darkness, while Jogan is the Pure Eye. I will go much deeper into this topic in a video that will release in a few days from now, so make sure to subscribe to not miss that. For now, let's talk about the divine Shinjutsu of time that the Jogan could eventually unlock to make Boruto the strongest Utsutsuki alive. As for how I think the signature ability of the Jogan could go down, the Pure Eye could be inspired from one of the 5 Abhinas, a widely renowned concept in Buddhism. You will be surprised to know that these 5 Abhinas are way too similar to the divine concepts that we have seen in Boruto so far. For the Jogan, there's a Abhina which is named after the dojutsu itself, known as the Divine Eye. It goes by the name of the Diva Chaku and could hint at the potential abilities of this mysterious eye. It's pretty much clear that Kishimoto must have drawn inspiration from the Abhinas while penning down the plot of the Jogan and the Utsutsuki gods. There's even a chance for the karma being related to this as well, since the Divine Eye seems to identify the karmic destinations of other people. But what exactly are these karmic destinations, and can they help us to unsolve the Jogan mystery? Well, in simple words, the Divine Eye should take the power of prescience to a whole new level by enabling the user to change the fate of any individual. In other words, the Pure Eye selects the karmic destination for the opponent, which shapes his destiny as per the will of the divine user. Kinda similar to how omnipotence works, but in a very ocular manner. For example, if Kawaki was supposed to get sacrificed in various possible futures, the Jogan could manifest a completely different future where the possibility of Kawaki getting sacrificed will not even exist. In simple words, it can manipulate the forthcoming time period for a person that will likely change their destiny. If you found all these takes interesting, check out these videos for more amazing Boruto content. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.